3 miles down the 16-foot height Barber electric fringe surrounding the Greenway station, I finally reached the closest point any civilian could get to the Grim Gates from outside. Beyond the row of people, maze of steel and current, the colossal arch came into the view, an immaculate construct of a polished metal, towering in silence. It was the Grim Gate, the interdimensional gate that linked Sinnoh City to the Grimmyth. The arch stood a full 3 miles beyond the station's platform, a vast structure several hundred yards wide, with 12 shuttle tracks stretching through its frame. From time to time, Grion ships slip into or emerge from its disordered threshold, the space around it simmering just enough to obstruct whatever exit on the other side. Grimgate Station itself functional like any other major green ship hub in Sinnoh City, except for the colossal steel arch standing the 3 miles from both its ends. Grumble. My glowing stomach awakened me from the measuring sights before me. Ignoring it, I noticed that aside from a barbered electric French and the occasional patrol of the soldiers, there wasn't much visible security. From the crayon's memory, I knew that without traveling at the speed enough to break the sound barrier, no one could break through the short of disordered space within the arch. Only a speed Greyon ship or a powerful grimlock moving at a superhuman speed could pierce the veil and enter to the grim gate here, emerging on the other side in the grim mid. This was intentional, an engineer safeguard to hinder the Greyons from the grim myth leaking into earth. It was ensured that any wandering Grimmons on the far side of the Grimgate in Grimmid couldn't simply cross over. The chance of such a breach was extremely low, but not impossible, and when dealing with a Grimmid, causing was always preferable to regret. Sniff, sniff. I couldn't stop myself from following the aroma drifting through the morning air as a young woman, barely in her late teens, pulled out a makeshift grilling beside her tent and began cooking meat and vegetable to stale. She wasn't the only one. Several others around the camp were preparing the breakfast, either for themselves or to shell. The prices were shockingly low, yet I still could not afford even the cheapest portion. With my hunger claws at my patient, I finally approached the young woman. Without a glance up from a grill, she said, "Food isn't ready yet. If you don't mind waiting, I can take your order." I cleared my throat, looking at the pretty Asian girl in a wheelchair who was so focused on seizing the food that she hadn't even looked my way. "Do you need a hand with anything?" "Look her, buddy. I am flattered, but if you are not ordering anything, please make a room for paying the customers." She cut in, misunderstanding me completely. Heat rushed to my cheeks. Trying to hide my embarrassment, I quickly corrected her. "I am looking for a job, not hiring." "Please leave," she snapped. Irritation sharpened her tone. But I wasn't ready to walk away. "Not yet. You don't have to pay me." Instead, steady, just she gave me a little of the leftover. The pretty handicapped girl finally looked up. She frowned, struggling to make out my face beneath the shadow of my hood. Her gaze then shifted to a makeshift splint on my right pinky, and after that to my jacket, once decent now stained with dirty. Not wanting her to get the warren idea, I said, "It is inconvenient for me to show my face right now. But believe me, I am not a swindler or a thief. I will work hard. All I am asking for a little food afterward. If you are satisfied, you can give me more." I really don't have any work for you, she said, her tone softening just a little. Please just go. I am barely scraping by. She gestured stubbornly with her tone towards the surrounding slum. Loafers with sharp ears were already listening in on our conversation. She had her own trouble to deal with. She couldn't afford to make any exception out of pity, not even this once. Thank you, I said with a bow, before stepping aside and taking in the surrounding slum. My plan to pick up the odd job and lie low here, away from the Wamber Paravzi. From the next few days was already off to a rough started. If I didn't had to hide my face, I might have a better luck. Rumble, my stomach glowed loudly enough to shame me into giving up. I finally decided to dip into the crayon's emergency cache, tucking inside the torn sleeves of his old underwear elastic band, a crude but effectively hidden pocket. Without factoring in the strain from my own transmigration, this body hadn't eaten since yesterday afternoon. I had taken a solid beating, spending an entire night unconscious on cold hard cemetery ground, and was worn down from hours of walking and daily life stress. If I didn't put something into it soon, I doubted I did make it. I slip out a G-coin, the cigarette, and walk over to the disabled girl selling the questionable sauce barbecue at straggling low price. One G-coin for a corn cob and a potato, right? I asked confirm. She nodded. After taking the coin, she set down a plate woven from a left hussy of a corn ears and lined it with a thrown magic page. She placed a grilled corn cob and a potato on a top, then sprinkled a bit of seasoning and added a small swirling of a mayonnaise as the topping before handing it to me. She pointed towards the skew meat, asking if I wanted any. I shook my head. I didn't dare try the meat sold here even if she were to give it me for free. Speaking the was my hand, I blew on the streaming cob, preparing to the lift it for the first desperate bite, only for my breakfast to vanish from my hand with a leaf plate in an instant, replaced by a drake of gold black card, a grim creeper, elegantly inscribable in the radiant gold across the card pitch black back. It was a grim drake. I somehow just knew. A moment later, the drake dissolved into the gold black light and sank into my chest, and my pupils glowed with a shape of my grim cipher, which had been itching on the back of the card. Attracted by the light of the drake, the petty handicapped Asian girl and the other civilians in the vicinity looked my way with a complication grace. Ignoring them and saving my jaw of receiving a grim deck for later, I summoned my fiber card instantly and went through it, bracing myself for whatever the fate had I stored for me. Cyber card. Name Crayon Vivat. Race human. Gender male. Age 19 years 1 month 26 days. Health malnourished. Middle Eastern race injured. Grim deck Latin 2 by 54. Grim cyber fractured fate. You are a grimlock with a two fate that obstruct your fate to others. You can switch between them at will. Faithless, you have no faith of your own and can temporarily minor anyone's fate if identified and recorded in the fate index. Fate report. You may get report about the other's fate. Note: seeking the attention to prevent your condition from worse. 2 out of the 52 card slots in your Grim Drake are occupied by Cipher card, Grim Web card. The rest of the Grim Drake is empty. The Grim deck can contain only one unique Grim Cipher per Grimlock, which is etching onto the back of all 52 cards in the Drake.